I'd like to thank you for joining me, Ashwin Mberi, on NMH at 1, where we highlight the news making waves in Namibia and beyond, this ranging from current affairs to community stories, sports, as well as economic news. This is what you can expect in this broadcast. Over 900 students from the University of Namibia northern campuses graduated this morning. Namibia has made it empathetically clear that it will not accept migrants from the United Kingdom. And Cabinet last week announced the implementation of the Office of the Prime Minister's $825 million drought relief program. Follow all our programs on oneup2.com, DSTV 285 and GoTV 25 in Namibia. Let's head to the midday news update. Over 900 students from the University of Namibia northern campuses graduated this morning. The event took place at Ongwediva Trade Fair Center. According to UNAM's acting chancellor, Professor Kenneth Matengu, he called upon the graduates to use the knowledge they acquired to make a difference in society. Visual News highlights local stories from across Namibia right after the break.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
Now, in a concerted effort to bring an end to the plastic waste crisis, Coca-Cola Beverages Africa in Namibia and Plastic Packaging opened a new polyethylene terephthalate flaking plant in Okahanja. The $24 million investment is expected to double the capacity of the country's only mechanical plastic waste recycler, enabling Namibia polymer recyclers to process up to 500 tons of PET material per month. The plant was inaugurated by Environment Minister Pohamba Shifeta.
This bed flake plant in Okahanja, just here, represents not only a commendable investment in our nation's environmental sustainability, but also a resolute step towards realizing the vision of a circular economy. This initiative, backed by a $24 million investment, amplifies the commitment of the Coca-Cola Company and its partners in meeting government halfway in its agenda to create a Namibia and the world Southwest. The significance of this endeavor cannot be overstated. By doubling the capacity of our mechanical plastic waste recycling, we are not only addressing the pressing issue of plastic pollution, but also unlocking economic opportunities for our nation. I'm reliably informed that this cutting-edge facility will enable Namibia recyclers to process up to 500 tons of petty materials per month, significantly reducing the need for virgin petty while diverting substantial waste from landfills and our precious environment.
Rivonia Job, the manager of corporate social investment for First Rand Namibia Foundation Trust, shares more on the projects they've recently embarked on, including the $225,000 Namibian renovation of the Lions Club Swakopmund kitchen.
just announced that it's a national disaster in terms of drought. We have handed over $1 million Namibian to Namibia Drought Relief. And for Erongo, we have also earmarked 500,000 Namibian dollars for the provision of food as well as the Kunene region. So we're yet to finalize the distribution of food with both governors in these regions. Now coming back to the Lions Club here in Swakopmund, which is a contribution to the kitchen that we renovated to the amount of 225,000 Namibian dollars. Combined with it is our staff volunteerism initiative. So we said we just don't want a check handover or an official opening of the soup kitchen. So you'll notice that in the kitchen our staff members are busy preparing lunch for the elderly, and as you have seen, some staff members are taking the elderly to town for ice cream. So it's about giving back your time and skills and not just monetary terms. And we have done it in Windhoek with the SPCA, where we painted the beautiful dog houses. We packed stationery for the Amos Meerkat initiative. So it's important for us as a bank to take care of our senior citizens with the wisdom that they have, and we're really very happy that to be associated with the Lions Club Elderly Home with this donation and the project that we're running here today. Thank you.
After the break, Namibian Sun will lead us into the newspaper review.
Hi Sonia.
Hi Tufeni. What are you reading?
I'm reading about the Child Care and Protection Act in this pamphlet I got from school.
What's that?
It is Namibia's main law for the children and the issues affecting them. The act classifies here that a child is anyone under the age of 18 years. Check out some of the rights meant to protect you. For more information, contact the Children's Advocate.
For more information, contact the Children's Advocate Namibia in the Office of the Ombudsman on 061 20 73 111. Send us an SMS on 20401. SMS costs 40 cents. You can also send us a message via our Facebook page. Remember, the services of the Children's Advocate are free of charge.
As promised, we start our newspaper review with Namibian Sun. Namibia has made it empathetically clear that it will not accept migrants from the United Kingdom in the wake of the European country scrambling to send those seeking greener pastures on its soil to other countries. Now, the scheme, originally announced in a speech by British Prime Minister Boris Johnson in April 2022, is an immigration policy that will see those who have been identified as illegal immigrants or asylum seekers being relocated to an African country for processing asylum or resettlement. In return, a country like Rwanda, which has agreed to host illegal immigrants from the UK, received £240 million. Now, Penda Nanda, Executive Director of the Namibian Ministry of International Relations, told Namibian Sun that the country was approached by the UK to be a part of the deal, but Namibia rejected the request. Now, if the number of registered voters in 2019 is anything to go by, the Electoral Commission of Namibia will have to register an average of 26,000 people every day for the 52 days set aside for voter registration. The National Voters Register comprised of 1,358,468 voters in 2019, which signaled an increase of 144,274 voters from the 2014 polls, with the census results indicating that the Namibian population has since grown to over 3 million. Analysts expect a significant increase in the new voters' roll. ECN said it is almost all systems go for eligible voters who will visit its 4,258 registration points countrywide between 3 June and 1 August, adding that the process of finalizing the registration points is at an advanced stage. Now we stick with the same subject, but from Republican. The 2024 general registration of voters, the presidential and National Assembly elections will be conducted in terms of the Electoral Act 5 of 2014. This act does not make provision for online registration or online voting. Any change to the law requires a consultative process with stakeholders. Namibians will be amongst the 2 billion voters in 50 countries worldwide who will cast their votes during the course of 2024, and with new census data indicating that the country's population increased from 2.1 million to just over 3 million, the Electoral Commission of Namibia will have its work cut out for it to ensure that all eligible citizens are registered to cast their votes come 27 November. On page 3, Cabinet last week announced the implementation of the Office of the Prime Minister's $825 million Namibian drought relief program for 2024 to 2025 financial year. Now, Cabinet ratified the estimated budget, which includes $600 million for food aid, $100 million Namibian dollars each for the livestock support and water supply programs, as well as $25 million Namibian dollars for seed and fertilizer provision. This follows an urgent appeal by the Agriculture Ministry to the Office of the Prime Minister to declare the current drought a national state of emergency. Moving over to Agamana Taito, Hendrina Ashetu and Kaino Awala are the two finalists who will try to outdo each other as they visit lodges and inform readers and viewers about their Kaza trips. In a live show yesterday, Ashetu and Awala were introduced as the two finalists who will now undertake trips to various Namibian lodges in Kaza Park. This was at the Tourism Expo. Abenab Lodge and Safari in the Grootfontein area, Kayova River Lodge outside Rundu, if you're heading towards Divundu, and Ngepi Camp, as well as White Sands Lodge and Camping. The latter two near Divundu will host the finalists. Now, the driver of the tourist bus in which 2 people died has been charged with manslaughter and reckless driving. The accident occurred on Wednesday morning about 140 kilometers southeast of Walvis Bay on the C14 gravel road at the Kuse Pass. According to the accident report submitted by police, the driver of a bus coming from the direction of Windhoek was driving downhill when his brakes allegedly failed. He is then said to have lost control of the bus and collided with the bakkie that was parked on the side of the road, which fortunately had no occupant. The bus then collided with another Sprinter bus traveling uphill from the opposite direction. Stay with us as we swing over to the Namibian. Now, Communications Regulatory Authority Chief Executive Emilia Ngikembwa says the authority is conducting a taxation study to engage government on reducing taxes in the telecommunications sector. This would lead to more affordable data and phone calls. Ngikembwa says the institution is currently conducting a pricing study for voice clips, SMSs and data to determine prices for these mobile services. Ngikembwa says several stakeholder engagements have been held and some of the licenses have already started reducing prices. That's the licensees. On page 3, controversial businessman and Cameroonian lawyer AJ Ayuk, who leads the African Energy Chamber, says he is impressed by the Knowledge Kati Foundation's efforts to involve local communities in oil and gas projects. This comes after the foundation supported community participation through a recent Sintana Energy deal, a company founded by Kati. On the front page of New Era, the Namibia Airports Company has to wait until May to hear if the Windhoek High Court will compel advertising company Alliance Media Namibia to pay more than 23.1 million Namibian dollars for making use of its advertising space at the Hosea Kutako International Airport. Judge S.E. Sheming postponed the ruling to 13 May, stating that the judgment was not ready. On page 3, President Nangolo Mbumba traveled to attend the 60th anniversary celebration of Union Day of the Republic of Tanzania. The event marks the historic merger of Tanganyika and Zanzibar into the United Republic of Tanzania on 26 April 1964. In his message of felicitation availed to Nampa, Mbumba said Namibia and Tanzania share historic ties dating to the liberation struggle. Now in Market Watch, Heineken has assured President Nangolo Mbumba that the company remains committed to Namibia following its acquisition of Namibia Brewers Limited last year. This is according to CEO Peter Simons, who briefed Mbumba on the company's activities following the acquisition by the Dutch brewer. "We are progressing really well. We are proudly Namibian, and we will stay a proudly Namibian company, vested in the economy, listed on the Namibian Stock Exchange, and we will stay listed," Simon said the sidelines of his meeting with Mbumba at State House on Wednesday. He said that's when he said this. Now, Simon said Heineken is keen to grow MDL's business and ensure that it contributes to the Namibian community despite the change of ownership. Stay with us as we come back after the break with economic news. In economic news, BHP Group has just bid $38.8 billion for Anglo American, offering a deal to forge the world's biggest copper miner and driving its smaller rivals' shares 16% higher. Mining's latest move to consolidate is driven by a scramble for copper and other metals central to the world's clean energy shift and could have major repercussions for South Africa, which has seen the platinum it mines fall out of favor. Reuters reports.
Mining giant BHP proposed a near $39 billion takeover of Anglo American on Thursday, offering a deal which would create the world's biggest copper miner. BHP, the world's largest listed miner, said its offer valued each Anglo's share at $31.39 at a premium of 31%, sending the London-listed company's shares 13% higher in early trading. Australia's BHP also said it will carve out Anglo's iron ore and platinum assets in South Africa, where it has no activities itself. Anglo, which owns mines in countries including Chile, South Africa, Brazil and Australia, said it was reviewing BHP's unsolicited, non-binding and highly conditional proposal. Under UK takeover rules, BHP has until May the 22nd to make a firm offer. Analyst at Hargreaves Lansdown, Susanna Streeter.
If this bid is accepted, it would be a mega deal in the mining industry. And the reason why BHP is particularly interested in Anglo American is because it has some pretty vast copper operations, and copper is seen as crucial in the green transition.
And if agreed, this deal would forge a copper mining group with about 10% of global output. It could also trigger further transactions in the sector, which has seen a rush of mergers and acquisitions as companies review portfolios to raise exposure to metals considered critical to the global energy transition. A takeover of Anglo by BHP would likely be among the 10 biggest ever mining deals by value. It has the potential to delist Anglo from the London market, a fresh blow to an exchange that is struggling to retain big companies and attract IPOs. But some said BHP would need to offer more to get a deal.
Looking at indicators, the Namibian dollar trades at 18.96 next to the US dollar, with 23.75 Namibian dollars getting you £1 British pound. First Rand Namibia's stock is down minus 0.50%, whilst Lesego holdings in Namibia Brewers Limited are in the green. Platinum is down minus 0.34%, whilst upticks are registered by gold, copper, and Brent crude oil. Overall index closed down minus 0.05%. Let's get into our news story from Africa. Somalia's government said it had suspended and detained several members of an elite U.S.-trained commando unit for stealing rations donated by the United States, adding that it was taking over responsibility for provisioning the force. The Danab unit has been a key pillar of U.S.-backed efforts to combat the al-Qaeda-linked militant group Al-Shabaab. The United States agreed in February to spend more than $100 million to build up to 5 military bases for Danab. Somalia's defense ministry said in a statement late last night that it had notified international partners of the theft and would share the outcome of its investigation. A U.S. official said in a statement to Reuters that Washington takes seriously all accusations of corruption. We look forward to engaging with the Danab on creating the necessary safeguards and accountability measures to prevent future incidents that could affect future assistance, the official said, without directly addressing whether any U.S. support had already been suspended. Let's swing over to international news. All right, getting into our international news story, the threat of deportation to Rwanda is causing migrants to head for Ireland instead of staying in Britain, Ireland's deputy minister told a British newspaper today. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's flagship program to send asylum seekers to Rwanda if they arrive in Britain illegally was approved by Parliament earlier this week, and the government wants the first flights to take off in 10 to 12 weeks. Now, Deputy Prime Minister Michael Martin told the Daily Telegraph that the policy was already affecting Ireland because people were fearful of staying in Britain. He said asylum seekers were seeking to get sanctuary here and within the European Union as opposed to the potential of being deported to Rwanda. The border between Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom, and the Republic of Ireland, a European Union member, is the only land border between the UK and the EU since Britain left the bloc. Stay with us as we swing over to local sport.
Hello, Namibia! Ons is by die kus en ons is lit.
Well, that is for sure.
Okay!
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yes, please, today you make sure that we are fed.
Sorry, ek is
In local sport, expect a highly competitive showdown this weekend as Trusco United and FNB Wanderers meet in their annual derby at the United Fields this Saturday. The two clubs will compete in various mutual sporting events, namely rugby, cricket, netball and noble. Now, the senior netball game and the NRU Premier League rugby game will be broadcast live on network television on DSTV 285, GoTV 25, as well as on our web-based TV channel 1up2.com. Now, at the photo session of the team captains and coaches at the Trusco United Sports Club, Wanderers first team rugby captain scrum half Jacques Theron said, "We made a statement at the beginning of the season, this was when they won the Castle Light United tennis-side tournament, and we also want to win the Premier League. This weekend will be another chance for us to move in the right direction," he said. "We'll certainly be looking forward to that." Now, in the other local sports, JSB Betting announced the extension of its Namibia Rugby Union partnership, this with a 500,000 Namibian dollar sponsorship towards the Namibian Rugby Referees Association. Jason Zook, a director of JSB Betting, made the announcement at NRU's headquarters at Hage Geingob Stadium. Zook said the occasion marks a huge day for both the NRU and Namibian referees. My name is Ashwin Bedi. We will be hoping to see you at the Tourism Expo a little later. later. But from the NMH at 1 team, we'll see you next week.